The cutest devil there is, Tasmanian devil. The Tasmanian devil turns crimson red when intrigued, and that is enough to say about its devilish side, right? But is the Tasmanian devil a true devil, or is it an animal infamous for no reason at all? I mean, it does look really cute, doesn't it? Well, by the end of this video, we will see if this animal is worthy of being called a devil or not. Until recently, it was only found on the island state of Tasmania, but it has now been reintroduced to New South Wales and mainland Australia with a small breeding population. The Tasmanian devil is the largest carnivorous marsupial after the extinction of the thylacine in 1936. Despite its small size, this famously feisty mammal has a coat of coarse brown or black fur and a stocky profile that gives him the appearance of a baby bear. Most have a white stripe or patch on their chest and light spots on their sides or rear end. They have long front legs and shorter rear legs, giving them a lumbering, pig-like gait. Also a pungent odor and extremely defined sense of smell. Tasmanian devils have a reputation for flying into a rage when threatened by a predator, fighting for a mate, or defending a meal. Early European settlers dubbed them devils after witnessing displays such as teeth-baring, lunging, and an array of spine-chilling guttural growls, as they are ferociously loud and shrill voices when they howl. It is probably the scariest voice to ever exist. But this reputation might not be totally fair. Though the Tasmanian devil may seem aggressive, many of these behaviors are merely feeding rituals or fear-induced. A major reason for it being called a devil, the Tasmanian devil has one of the strongest bites, which is sort of a given due to its large head and neck. They can even crush your bones and break through cages with a single bite. Their jaws can open up to 80 degrees wide, which makes them resemble a hyena. The Tasmanian devil usually hunts at night, therefore it has strong eyesight and tends to spot moving objects easily. Because of their efficient ability to keep themselves cool, they have no problem being active throughout the day. It might look like a small and round-shaped animal, but nobody should ever underestimate its numerous capabilities, like being able to run extremely fast and also knowing how to swim. It's like a great gift in a small package. Don't get us wrong, but these Tasmanian devils are more like playboys since they do not like the idea of companionship with a single partner for life. Also, the males love fighting with one another to woo their female counterparts. Similar to humans, even if the devils try to protect and guard their partners, especially the males, to avoid any infidelity on the female's end. So basically, the males like being with more than one partner, but cannot tolerate it if females do the same. Hypocrisy at its best. The average female Tasmanian devil can ovulate 3 times during the mating season and can give birth to 20 to 30 offspring during a lifetime with a gestation period of 3 weeks. The offspring weigh around 20 grams when they are born and are characterized by pink, hairless skin. A baby devil can be as small as a grain of rice when it is born. Initially, they live in the little pouch of their mothers where they get all the required nutrition. Well, not all of them get the nutrition since the mother's pouch only has 4 nipples to feed. So, whoever gets to the nipples first survives. These Tasmanian devils took the phrase "life is a race" a little too accurately. They tend to develop pretty quickly, and within a period of 100 days, they are released from their mother's pouch. However, they do not become independent until the age of 9 months. It is often believed that the Tasmanian devils became extinct from their mainland Australia approximately 3,000 years ago due to a sudden climatic change and increase in human population. The modern species of the Tasmanian devil has evolved way too much since that extinction. A very rare disease in the 1990s became responsible for the decline in the population of the Tasmanian devils. It has since then been categorized as an endangered species for which several initiatives have been taken up by the government to protect its survival. If you have been an ardent fan of cartoons, then you would have definitely watched the Looney Tunes in your childhood. But why are we talking about cartoons all of a sudden, you ask? That's because the Tasmanian devils rose to fame since his erratic behaviors inspired the Looney Tunes' portrayal of Taz, the Tasmanian devil, as a snarling lunatic.
The Tasmanian devil's liable to get you. He's a mean, vicious, nasty, no-good, baggy-eyed, marble-headed ignoramus. He's a stupid,
Flattery will get you nowhere.
Before the cartoon was released, nobody really knew about these devils as much as people do now. The lifespan of the Tasmanian devil is rather short, and the oldest living Tasmanian devil was recorded to be around 7 years old. Their average lifespan ranges from 3 to 5 years. A baby Tasmanian devil usually reaches sexual maturity at the age of 2 years. A young devil can easily climb shrubs and trees which the adult devil cannot. The climbing instinct is taught to the babies so that they can escape, because the adult devils can sometimes feed on the offspring as well if they are too hungry and aren't able to find prey easily. Historically speaking, the males are much bigger than the females in size. Despite the fact that the devil can cool itself pretty quickly, it still prefers living in burrows and bushes, hence it is of nocturnal nature. Being a carnivore, it usually preys on other animals and the dead, decaying flesh of other organisms and even humans. Fun fact, it can even prey on an animal having the size of a small kangaroo. However, the devils mostly prefer preying on wombats. They also have an extremely strange habit of sleeping inside the carcasses or dead bodies of their hunted prey, so that as soon as they wake up, they will have something to address their craving for food. They have an extremely rich appetite, which makes them vulnerable to collect fat in their bodies, hence they store the fat in their tails so that they don't have to worry about looking fat like some of us. Lucky devils. The Tasmanian devils are kind of loners who do not like packs. They would rather be alone and spend time with themselves instead of interacting with fellow devils. The devil, despite its name and behavioral characteristics, is highly regarded in Tasmania as an exemplary symbol and is quite often used in the logos of their products. The fact that the devil belongs to Tasmania is enough to make the place an attractive tourist destination. A lot of myths have surrounded the devil in the past, one of the most famous ones being that it can even eat human beings that wander around their habitat. However, the fact is that it can only eat the dead and decaying bodies of humans instead of attacking and eating a human as a whole. There is another theory that revolves around the fact that as soon as a human comes close to a Tasmanian devil, it either starts shaking in fear or remains unbelievably still. This one doesn't seem to be a myth and has a higher chance of being a fact. If a human happens to hold them, they might start scratching and biting out of panic, but can calm down as soon as the grip becomes firm. Whenever the Tasmanian devils feel that their survival is threatened, they usually make strange yawn noises, which has more to do with them feeling anxious as compared to being fierce. The devils can be tamed to a certain extent, but cannot be kept as pets due to their antisocial behavior and the inability to express or respond to love and affection. An interesting fact about the devil is that it has the same number of teeth as a dog, i.e. 42. But there's a slight difference between the teeth of a dog and that of a Tasmanian devil. The devil's teeth grow constantly throughout its lifespan. The Tasmanian devils are in due course to become endangered through the passing course of time due to their habit of hunting at night. They mostly get prey from roadkills, which makes them prone to getting hit by the approaching traffic themselves. The drivers find it difficult to spot the small-sized animals in the dark and consequently end up hitting them. These incidents have significantly increased over the years and has led to a huge decline in the Tasmanian devil's population. Additionally, a facial tumor disease had started affecting the devils around their mouths, which makes it difficult for them to eat. Thus, they were starting to starve to death. This disease started in 1990, but thanks to government support, the situation has stopped worsening in many areas, and the population is a little stable at the moment. The government started quarantining the healthy devils in order to protect them from getting infected, and as a result, nearly 600 Tasmanian devils were saved and were freed to wander in their mainland Australia. Famous researchers believe that having them in a natural habitat like artificial environment that is restricted by fences was a far better idea than letting them fall prey to cars and infections. Much before the quarantining happened, scientists even made deliberate efforts to develop vaccines for the Tasmanian devils and to study their genetics. All of this might seem like small steps towards the main objective of conserving them, but can prove to be essential for the devil's survival. It will only be good for the Australian government to keep making progress, as the devil also protects the country's flora and fauna from animals like the red fox and feral cats. The Tasmanian devils are often referred to as natural vacuum cleaners, considering their unusual feeding habits. Since they mostly prey on sick and decaying animals, they help in protecting the ecosystem and prevent germs from dead bodies from spreading to other animals and causing infections. Well, as much as feeding on carcasses sounds gross and gruesome, it is just as healthy for the environment. Ultimately, the Tasmanian devils aren't even that bad, and we should all be thanking them for their social services. Devil or not, these little beasts are super cute. Now you be the judge and let us know in the comments section below if you think this animal really deserves to be called a devil. Until then, thanks for watching. See you on the next one.